Summer is a time when a lot of people travel, usually for vacations, but also often for conferences and other work trips. I'm certainly no exception. As this video goes live, I'll be at the beginning of a 2-week-long trip to 2 different conferences, and I'll be going to a 3rd conference later in the summer. All this travel has me wondering about the amount of energy and fuel it takes to move me and my luggage from place to place. So what's the greenest way to travel? Why is green travel something we should be thinking about? While many people might be aware of the fuel usage associated with traveling on vacation or even just commuting to work every day, a recent study looking at the energy use and emissions associated with travel found that tourism creates approximately 1/12 of all the human-caused greenhouse gases on Earth. When it comes to fuel usage, nothing beats you moving under your own power, so the best modes of travel would of course be biking and walking. While this is great and all, I'm not going to ride my bike from Chicago to Boston. However, once I'm in Boston, I'll do my best to walk or ride a bike to all of my destinations within the city. The tie for second best fuel usage, and first when it comes to long distance travel, goes to vehicles that use electric power and public mass transit. Let's look at electric vehicles for a second. While it may be true that a hybrid car uses far less gas than a conventional one, electric energy usage is more complicated than you think. Plug-in electric cars and electric trains need electricity to run. Where does that electricity come from? That's right, in most of the world, the majority of electric power is still produced by burning fossil fuels like coal and natural gas. So it's best to keep in mind that electric vehicles aren't necessarily as clean as they sound. As I said, the other best option for long distance journeys would be mass transit, including buses and trains. These are good choices because they can carry a lot of people at once, which is more efficient than each of those people driving to the destination in their own personal vehicle. However, the fuel efficiency of mass transit vehicles depends on their route and passenger load. More starts and stops reduce fuel efficiency, and a mostly empty bus isn't any better than a few cars to carry the same number of people. Now we're getting down to the energy villains of travel. Besides personal vehicles, which we've already decided are less efficient than the other choices mentioned, there are 2 other kinds of travel that can really waste resources. The first is cruises. A cruise ship uses an incredible amount of fuel just to move the ship itself, but we also have to consider the energy used to heat water for pools and passenger showers, the water used for those activities, the food waste from buffet tables, the fact that they often dump waste directly into the ocean. Yeah, cruises aren't so great for the environment. The other pariah when it comes to green travel is flying, at least as far as many conventional sources will tell you. Planes use a lot of fuel to get from place to place. However, many green travel sites suggest following a lot of the same guidelines as for other mass transit options. These include booking seats on full flights, booking non-stop flights because takeoff and landing are the most fuel-intensive parts of a flight, and donating money to offset the carbon footprint caused by the flight. You could also fly with less luggage because the lighter a plane is, the less fuel it uses. But as I was researching the greenest ways to travel, I came across a really interesting graphic from the AFDC. It compares different modes of travel and normalizes their fuel efficiency to passenger miles per gallon. For example, when a plane carrying 500 passengers flies 1 mile, it's actually flying 500 passenger miles for this metric. Okay, take a look at this graphic. Are you surprised? Planes and trains are way up at the top, showing that they're extremely efficient. This is because of the large numbers of people able to be carried on any individual plane or train. The passenger load winds up offsetting the amount of fuel used. I've definitely also heard people make the argument that a plane is going up in the air regardless of whether you personally are on it or not. While that may be true, companies definitely feel pressure from customers when they request more environmentally friendly practices. So speak up, vote with your dollars, and provide feedback via customer surveys. The only way to make things better is to let businesses know what we want from them. As always with my videos, you're free to make your own decisions about how to best alter your personal behaviors to care for the environment. I'm here to provide you with the facts to make those decisions. However, when I think about how little vacation time the average American worker has available per year versus the amount of time it takes to travel via each of the methods I listed, flying in an airplane doesn't sound so bad. It might not be as fuel intensive as we thought, and it gets us where we want to go faster. However, there's also something to be said for taking shorter distance trips if you're interested in traveling green. Explore your home state and/or country, find local hidden gems, join tour groups, and explore cultural and natural history sites. Many countries now have protected state and national parks. Use them. A discussion about green travel wouldn't be complete without talking about hotels. Lots of hotels have jumped on the green revolution bandwagon, but you still need to be a savvy consumer. Check to see if the hotel you want to stay with has recycling and composting programs. Is it a LEED certified building or an eco lodge? Try to avoid hotels that have buffets because those create a huge amount of food waste. There are also some pretty obvious green hotel guest behaviors you should adopt, like following the towel reuse program, turning off the lights when you're not in your room, turning the air conditioner down or off while you're gone, and declining housekeeping services. If you're traveling this summer, I hope you have a good time wherever you go, but I also hope I've inspired you to think a bit more about the greenest ways to get where you're going. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it. If you didn't like this video, please share it with someone who would. And if you'd like to support the Roving Naturalist, remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. Remember, my goal is 500 subscribers by the end of June. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.